to GTA Tours, folks. This here's a ride through the wild countryside of San Andreas, where dust flies, engines roar, and the land writes the story. First stop on our trail, Montgomery. Population 3,623. Give or take a few out on parole. Looks quiet, but this here's the heartbeat of Red County. Central, stubborn, and full of folks who ain't afraid of a little grease under the nails. Locals, mostly working class, salt of the earth types. Some redneck, some roughneck, all tough as leather and twice as weathered. You got your med center here, only one in the county, so when folks get banged up fighting or falling, this is where they end up. Well, I'll be damned. We got ourselves a live one. That fella was trying to outrun the law. Sheriff ain't waiting on a trial. That's how things go out here. You run, you get got. Poor bastard thought he could take on Red County in a farm rig. Should have stuck to planting corn. Into Fern Ridge. Trees get thick here, thicker than the air before a thunderstorm. You can hear yourself think out here, and sometimes that's the scariest part. A lot of history buried in these woods. Old trails, old crimes, and old timers who remember it all. Keep your eyes open, not just for wildlife, but for what's watching from the shadows. Next, we rollin' into Blueberry. Don't let the size fool you. This town packs a punch. You're looking at the industry hub of Red County. Here's home to Fleischberg Brewery, making life mean something since 1869. That slogan's seen a lot of hangovers. They ship across the state, but the real drinking happens right here. Past the town, you got Blueberry Acres, some of the finest farmland this side of Mount Chiliad. Between the crops and the brewery, this town stays busy keeping San Andreas fed and buzzed. Ain't much elevation here, lowest point in the state, they say. But the pride in this place, that stands taller than Chiliad itself. we cross into Dillimore. A little bigger, but still quiet enough. This town sits smack in the center of the state, close to all three major airports. Makes it a popular stop for folks passing through, and for trouble trying to hide. First thing you'll notice is the welcome pump. Old gas station off the main road. Locals fill up there. Travelers grab a bite, and the occasional shady deal slips through unnoticed. Dillimore has homes, businesses, and a police station up the way. Law's a little more visible here, and a little less patient, so keep your ride clean and your stories straight. Now we leave the towns behind. Flint County stretches out like an old leather belt, worn, cracked, and full of history. Not much out here but hills, dirt roads, and the kind of peace you can't buy in a city. This is where folks come to disappear. Hunters, loners, old bikers riding into the sunset. Flint don't judge. It just waits. Now we cross into Whetstone. The air changes here. Cooler, damper. Trees breathe heavy, and the ground always seems a little too soft. They say this place is half forest, half forgotten. Keep your head on a swivel. Nature don't play favorites, and these woods don't suffer fools. Now here's Angel Pine. Used to be a tough little logging town at the foot of Mount Chiliad. Chainsaws in the morning, campfires at night. These days, it's swapped sawdust for spandex. Now it's a hot spot for outdoor types. Mountain bikers, hikers, folks spending more on jackets than their granddaddies made in a month. They come for the trails, the thrill, and that picture-perfect view of the mountain. But if you dig beneath all that Gore-Tex and gear, Angel Pine's still got calluses under the polish. She remembers the trees that fell, the boots that built her. And when the tourists leave, the mountain don't go nowhere. This here motel we're staying in, seen more stories than a courthouse. Ghosts, drifters, outlaws, dreamers, they all rest their heads here at some point. Tonight we add our names to the guest book. Come dawn, we trade 4 wheels for 2. Now the ride up Chiliad's no joy cruise, tight turns, loose edges, and drops that don't forgive mistakes. One bad lean, and you're part of the landscape. Last legs on foot, but just over that ridge, the view makes it all worth it. There she is, San Fierro to the north, and Los Santos to the east. Cities full of noise, light, and all the things we left behind for a while. And that's the end of the trail. Red County, Flint, Whetstone, and every dusty mile between. Thank you for riding with GTA Tours, folks. Till next time, ride hard, rest easy, and respect the dirt.